Comment on Chaucer's contribution to English language and versification. Chaucer's contribution to the development of English language is tremendous. A critic J.R. Lowell truly and excellently said, he found his native language a dialect and left it a language. With Chaucer's undoubtedly the English language and literature grew up the gradual process of recovery and refinement, which English language undergoing since it emerged after the conquest. It was happy accident that the man who had the skill and technical brilliance in the metrical handling of language also had the breadth of view, the knowledge, the interest, the experience of life, and lackness of sympathy to enable him to embody his great secular vision of his fellow man in brilliant literary form. In the age of Chaucer, four dialects were relevant in English: the Northern, the Southern, the East Midland, and the West Midland dialect. Chaucer was born in London and he spent most of his time there. So, by birth and surrounding, he was confined to the language spoken in the neighborhood of London. The East Midland dialect, which was also the language of the court, the king's English, the sole literary language in the whole of England. When Chaucer took it up, it was poor and barren. No real poetry had so far appeared in the dialect. Chaucer aim who Chaucer aim was to give life to the dialect. Chaucer's choice of East Midland dialect was quite justified because he found it was really a living language, for it has its branches up to the upper classes of the society. He wrote in this dialect with an ease, a polish, and a regularity which commanded immediate and unanimous admiration, and used it as the vehicle of first rate poetry. It was a great task which Chaucer undertakes. French language were still holding the mind of the people and were being employed by poets and prose writers. Under the inspiring the leadership of Chaucer, the lower court banished Norman French in 1362 and the parliament followed in the same year. In 1385, he, the school adopted it as well. Chaucer paid particular attention to the versification. According to the critics, he was a creator of English versification. He imparted diasyllabic lives from French and under Italian influence made it reliable. It became the heroic life which was surpassing vehicle of the great poetry of England. Chaucer used the new line alternatively in stanza and couplet, the stanza for songs and couplet for narrative. In the contemporary tales, Chaucer saw all the qualities which modern authors are accounted regular and classical. His verse, the full of variety, is in exquisite tone. There never was a better man of more finished metrical than Chaucer. His sense of rhythm is quite extraordinary, even for a poet. His diction has an elegant simplicity which produces its best from consumed art. It achieves the charm without apparent effort and with no suggestion of formality. Above all, the verse is written in quality of living speech. Its term, affections, stress, which are its bodies, his verse, flawlessly metrical wits itself, thorough and round the light-hearted with and instant check to its sparking flow. In fact, the whole range of narrative verse there is none so flexible, so musical at the same time, so superly worth right and digest a Chaucer is.